Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are looking at the full moon. It's on November 5th, it's at 13 degrees of Taurus, and this forecast is for Gemini and Gemini rising. So what we do is we take the full moon chart, and then, because these are general predictions, I'm going to use a 0 Aries wheel, and then I'm going to take the chart and I'm going to turn it until Gemini is on the ascendant. And that's the chart that you see here. So the first thing that we notice in this chart is that Uranus is sitting at 0 degrees of Gemini, and it's making an exact opposition to Mars at 0 degrees of Sagittarius. And so with high energy, this is high energy where the voltage has been turned up to 11. So this can make you feel like you are vibrating, not just at a higher level, but faster than everyone else. And everyone else is reacting to it because of that Mars. Now, they may not have been reacting to it previous to this, but now, people are suggesting maybe that you slow down, or that you're being impulsive, or you're being erratic, or things like that. And it's a little bit because, they're not handling the energy that you're giving off. This is less about you and more about their reaction, but you do still need to be cognizant of what they're saying to you, because some people around you may have sensitive systems and can't take some of the energy that you're putting out there. Now, this can manifest as you being more hyper than usual, or handling multiple things at once. Gemini is the only sign that can truly multitask. There is also this energy of jumping from thing to thing rather than some sort of smooth transition, and this can be jarring for some people. So some of your connections, your partners, your relationships could react in a negative fashion because of this. There is this opportunity, though, to have some people come together with you and say, this is fantastic that you are going in this direction or talking about this thing. I want to do this with you. Let's do it together. So I think that you're going to get some mixed reactions from it. A lot of times, though, people are just going to say, I didn't expect you to do that. I didn't expect you to say that. Now we see that Saturn and Neptune have retreated into Pisces, and now they're back in your 10th house, and they are elevated in your chart. And that means that things like reputation and your vision for the future are extremely important. When they were in Aries, it was time to implement and test some ideas. But now, during this 2 weeks, and actually for the rest of the year, it is time for you to be very cognizant of what you're putting out into the world, being aware of how people could take different things that you say or do, especially in business, as well as what your vision is for your future. When we have Saturn and Neptune so close together, it's the ideal combination for making blueprints for what you want to accomplish. So this is a perfect time to sit down and think about what you want and actually take it from a wish into something that is a goal, where you might be putting things into your schedule, etc. Most of these things you're not going to work on implementing until late January or early February at the very earliest. So these are long-term plans. Now, this is also that there is some things going on in your career. You may be called back into an old position to work on an old project, or some place that you put in a resume, they are trying to call you back because now they have a position open for you. And then, of course, last but not least, is the full moon itself. And it's sitting in your house of spirituality, psychic ability, also your unconscious thoughts and desires, and that tendency that we can have to get just kind of addicted to scrolling or staying up too late, or too much sugar, or things like that. So this is the kind of the wake up, the bright light is shining on this area that says, go back to your meditation practice, go back to Tai Chi, go back to taking care of yourself on that spiritual level. Let go of these things that when you're finished doing them, they leave you more tired, more drained, and more fuzzy. So go back to the things that were giving you a sense of being grounded, giving you a sense of purpose and connection. So that's what this 2-week period is for, and this full moon is for. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, we are looking at the relationship that Mercury, which is your sign ruler, has with Venus. And right now they are in a rather weak position, but they're in good placements. So that means if you give them a little nudge, they'll move forward pretty nicely. So while your inclination may not be there to go out into the world and, say, yes, I will meet you for coffee or go to do some social occasion that's happening, if you do, then you have a good chance of connecting with someone who could be quite interested in you. So the idea here is that while you might not feel like it's going to work, it actually could work. And so therefore, if you're willing to roll the dice, you could win. And when we look at existing love relationships, we're looking at the connection between Mercury and Jupiter. And right now there isn't one going on, except for the fact that Mercury is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, so you have a hidden aspect. So even though the two of you may feel like you're not on the same page, maybe about finances or where the relationship is going, there is a strong basis for connection here. And that means that if you get down to what's real in the relationship, why you came together, what's still very strong in the relationship, then the other problems just melt away. So this is to take it from the surface issue down to what the real core is, and that is about respect and consideration for each other and support of each other. And from there, then when this aspect lines up better in the future, then you can come together stronger and more connected than ever. So when we consider your money, we have a couple of factors right now. Jupiter, of course, is still traveling through your house of money, and we are very interested in what the moon is doing, because the moon is where you draw money from. And so this moon sitting in the 12th house is about being focused on working behind the scenes, working with the universe and co-creating with the universe. That is being quiet and listening for the ideas, shutting the door so that you don't have the distractions. The Jupiter in the second house brings luck with money, but sometimes the luck is just enough. And so to add to it, what you want is also the curiosity to say, I wonder if I could make more, because then the Jupiter could facilitate this. With the Jupiter there can be higher spending than usual, especially too with that moon in the 12th house, which can cause us to kind of fall asleep a little bit, to be lulled into something. So to utilize this energy better, what you want to do is focus on your true goals, and that may be around family and how you're supporting them. And that then would have the Jupiter and the moon call in more money for you. With an astrology reading, you get more information about who you are, your talents and abilities. You get to see what obstacles are ahead, and you can get a game plan for how to get past those obstacles and find success. So if you're interested in having a reading, there's a link in the description. So when we are looking at money derived from business or investments, we are looking at the relationship between the moon and Saturn. And right now, if it's a semi-square, it's really wide. And if it's a semi-square, it's not that easy an aspect. And generally with this, it would say there are some hard things that you need to go do, and once you do those, then more money comes. Because this is so wide, I wouldn't even call it a semi-square. Then what it indicates is that it's hard to figure out what the thing to do is. This is what is being constrained, what is the hold up, what's the bottleneck. And so you can utilize that moon in the 12th house to say, do a meditation on this, to get information from the universe, to say, tell me what is really holding me back. What is the thing stopping me from expanding my business or finding the right investments? So the energy here says that you're making about the same as usual, but you're needing more information to make this grow. This, of course, is just for this 2-week period. Now, when it comes to money derived from career or getting a paycheck, we're looking for the relationship between the moon and Mars. And we don't have one. So there is not an aspect going on between these two, and that means that it is difficult to get a raise at this time. Now, you do have some good energy about some project from the past coming back. Maybe this gives you an opportunity to plant a seed for the future. This is also that there could be some changes because of that 0-degree Mars in who you're dealing with, who you're connected to, in which case you can't go into a new manager's office and say, I need a raise. You have to give them a moment to settle in and find, what they're doing, and so they can meet everyone. So you're making about the same as usual. This energy, though, will change, and so this is just for this 2-week period. I just wanted to jump in really quick to say that my big class on predictions is coming up soon. It's on November 9th. We're going to be talking about the year of the fire horse as well as Western astrology predictions. And so if you are interested in what's ahead for 2026, then there is a link in the description with more information and to register.